Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles.
Bust out a freestyle.
And week 10 is in the books. Or no, week 10 has begun. And my brother Kirk is here. Our cat Arlo.
Yep. He'll be fiddling with me the whole time, but that's okay.
We may have got an audible meow right there.
Hey-o.
Week 10 has begun with Thursday Night Football, Falcons and Panthers. So today we're going to talk about that game, and then we're going to pick the lines for 6 of the biggest games coming up in NFL Week 10.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Follow us on Twitter at MUK_football. Subscribe, rate, review on Spotify, Anchor, wherever you get your podcasts. And I guess we got to start with the NFC South on Amazon Prime.
Hey-o.
Are you liking the games on Amazon Prime? Do you have the app?
I don't. So I don't like it.
Okay.
And, it's been a problem for even like bars and whatnot because they have to get a new, another subscription for another thing. So that bothers me. Thursday nights always bothered me, and now it bothers me more.
It's getting worse and worse.
Not only did I not want to watch the games, but now I can't even watch the games. That's just mean.
That is mean.
Yeah.
Boy, what an old double cross.
I know.
It's been really weird. First of all, the one thing that I finally pinpointed what feels so weird about it. The Amazon doesn't have any good music. Okay, so Fox has and NBC bum bum ba da da. It's like the Amazon theme is weird.
Yeah.
And maybe 40 years of listening to it. I'm not 40, but I listen to the Fox theme for that.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it's been on, basically.
You know what it is. You hear it and you're like, oh, football.
Yeah, exactly.
Thursday night, they don't have that.
Yeah, they have some song, but I just don't. It's not my soul yet.
It's gonna take a couple years, I guess.
Yeah, let's see. So Fox, CBS, and then CBS is. Wait, ESPN, bum 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 ba-dum, ba-dum.
Yeah, it's Monday night.
Yeah, and so bum bum ba-da-da. That was NBC.
That's Sunday Night Football.
So CBS is na 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 ba-da-dun, dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, just give you a recap of the preview music of each network.
The Panthers defeat the Falcons 25-15 in what was a pretty ugly game in the rain, dominated largely by the run game of the Panthers. Deonta Foreman got it going. He had 130 yards and a touchdown. Chenault ran another one in, but the story of the night is Mariota looked terrible.
He looked awful. The offensive line looked bad. He was getting pressured the whole game. I don't know if they'll talk about it tomorrow, but me and you both watched that one pick he threw. Yeah.
The one that
he's on his butt.
Yeah.
He throws it 20 yards down the field on just a random wing it pass.
It would have been the crown jewel of wing it passes that he did this game because he threw some terrible decisions. Richard Sherman called him a rookie at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
But that one, which was ultimately negated because his butt was down, was the crown jewel is the exact thing for it. His butt hit, and he just winged it up 20 yards downfield. I love you saying, how did he even get it that far?
That was impressive that he even threw it that far, but not even a middle school coach would be like, if you're getting tackled, just try to throw it. Nobody tells anybody to do that.
It very much reminded me of Pee Wee football, and that's bad. That's bad, Mariota, that you're reminding us of that.
You're an NFL quarterback. You're better than that. But he got pressured the whole damn day. Carolina looked like they wanted it more. Yeah. And, they're 3-1 in the division. Yeah. So, let's not completely rule them out of the NFC South.
The division is very winnable. Like we were talking about, what has Tom Brady done to the NFC South? This is what the AFC East looked like for 20 years with Tom Brady. Now, the NFC South looks like the AFC East did, and the AFC East is crushing it.
Yeah. It's the Tom Brady. It's the devil juice we were talking about.
Oh, man. It's unbelievable to me that the Tom Brady's still in charge of the division. Even after this, they can even lose.
They can lose and still be in first place in this division. Just disgusting.
Well,
they're going to be the 4th seed. They're going to have a home playoff game. It's unbelievable.
Oh, let's pivot to the Buccaneers. Let's look forward to Week 10 Sunday, very early Sunday, especially for us on the West Coast. The Seattle Seahawks take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Germany.
Yep. first game in Germany.
This is pretty cool. Apparently 3 million people wanted tickets to this game.
Wow.
So it was like crashing the servers while people were trying to buy tickets.
Oh yeah. Need a bigger stadium. Like 3 million people watching the game. Man, yeah. No, that's impressive. I like that. And I like having a game in Germany. You know, I mean, they're pumping out more overseas games. They're trying to they've been doing it for a decade now, trying to establish a market over there to actually have a team over there. It seems to be working. If there's 3 million people trying to buy tickets,
do you think
there's obviously a fan base?
Do you think their goal is to get teams over there, or they start trying to do like an NFL Europe thing? Like I was thinking it was gonna be like a 10-team like minor league almost.
I kind of would rather have them do like the 10-team minor league, like they used to have the American Football Conference and the NFL before they merged that whole thing back in the 60s.
Yeah,
I'd rather have them do that because 32 teams is perfect. You add 4 teams in Europe, like how do you make the schedule? Like I don't know. It seems difficult for me to actually put teams out there and let them play. But
so how about this game? Tampa Bay was on the 3-game losing streak, basically lost the game against the Rams last week, but McVay goes conservative and Tom Brady gets 1 drive at the end. Is that enough for you to say that the Bucs are back?
Not for me. Not at all. Yeah. I mean, they put up 16 points.
Yeah, I mean, but they drove for a touchdown at the end and looked like old-fashioned Brady.
Yeah. They got the touchdown at the end. They're lucky they got the win. Sure, Brady thinks that felt awesome and whatever, but it doesn't prove to me that they're playing any different than they had been. They're still putting up the same amount of points. They have trouble scoring in the red zone. And, that's just the story of the Bucs season so far, is they cannot score when they get within 20 yards.
Yeah.
Like they just cannot figure it out. They can't run it. They can't play action it. They can't get it to, Evans or Godwin or, I just don't know what they're trying to accomplish down there. But Suckup's just the one kicking all the field goals, and that's all their points.
They're stalling. The Bucs are favored by 3. And maybe that's still some lingering insult to the Seahawks, who we're Seahawks fans, but we're not really feeling like they're a juggernaut.
No. If you're in Seattle, this is a miracle.
Yeah.
Some teams are some commentators are like, oh, Seahawks are a playoff team, and they're talking about us as such. And we're like, dude, 6 wins is all we were hoping for.
Yeah. we beat the over on our futures bets in August.
Oh yeah. So I'm surprised the Bucs are actually favored, to be honest. Yeah. But
who do you got winning?
I think that the Bucs are going to win.
Okay.
As a Seahawks fan, that disappoints me, but it just going to Germany seems to be a bigger problem for our team than it will be the Bucs, who have a bunch of veterans that have probably already traveled and done these games before.
Yeah.
So that part, and then just, us being a West Coast team, we're going to Germany. I don't even know what the time difference is. It's probably, 10, 12 hours. So
I don't know.
I mean, to me, that's going to play a difference in the whole thing. Bucs still have a good defense. The Seahawks are kind of superly hyped. Yeah. I can see the Bucs pulling this game off. It's kind of ugly, but they can win it.
I also have the Bucs winning and covering that 3. I think ugly game is right.
Yeah.
And I think the Seahawks, there still is a lot of deficiencies on the roster.
Oh yeah.
So this is a lot to do and a lot to go around for a young team. And plus it's Tom Brady. There's going to be some stars in the eyes,
Oh yeah.
I think this game, one of the things that's interesting to me is say Tom Brady puts together like a historic performance this Sunday and it's in Germany, that will go a long way towards creating that NFL Europe or that thing. Like that would be a huge deal. It would mean a lot more than anything else happening this month.
Oh yeah.
It's like Wayne Gretzky or, Michael Jordan at the end of the career. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
When you look back in 30 years and go, oh, Tom Brady played the first game in Germany. That would be kind of cool to me if he had like a 4 touchdown masterpiece. Yeah, I know we're talking about against the Seahawks, but
4 touchdowns too. I mean, I don't know about that.
Yeah. What's the over under on Hitler references on the podcast? On the broadcast?
On the broadcast? Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, probably a few. 1.5.
I think there's got to be a couple. Got to blame them for both the world wars.
Yeah. I mean, and the Seahawks move forward, and just like through the Battle of the Bulge,
there'll be a blitzkrieg. There'll be something out there. They'll give a couple shout outs.
All right, let's
a U-boat torpedo. Like something like that.
So we both take Bucs with the 3 points over our hometown Seahawks. Successfully reverse jinxed, my brother.
Yeah. All right. We're hedging those bets, baby.
Let's go to Cleveland at Miami.
Ooh, baby.
And Cleveland is underdogs by 3.5. So people are buying into Miami right now. I think this would be even more if Cleveland hadn't whooped on the Bengals last time we saw them.
Yeah, I was surprised it was 3.5.
Yeah.
But the Browns, they're good at, time of possession. Mm-hmm. It's the most underrated thing about their team. They're very ground heavy. They generally kind of take you out of your rhythm.
Yeah.
Which I think can affect the Dolphins. If they don't get into a rhythm, I think the Dolphins are in trouble. But, I can see this be a ground and pound game from Cleveland here, and I think they can cover that 3.5. It's not like Miami's been blowing out teams. Every game's been within like 3 points. They only beat Chicago by 3 last week.
Yeah, with a defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
People always say Tua got 35 points on the Bears. Like, no, he didn't. He put up 28 points on the Bears.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. I think Cleveland can control this game. Jacoby Brissett is terrible under pressure, but the Dolphins, they don't really pressure. Their defense is underperforming. Lost in a lot of this.
There's a reason they sold to go get Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's just the sole answer. He didn't prove it last week, so maybe he tries this week, but the Cleveland Browns play a funnier game than most teams play. Yeah. They're playing an older school of football that it's hard to replicate in practices, especially if you're the Dolphins, because you don't have players like that.
Yeah.
You'd have a very quick, and the Dolphins have struggled against defending the run.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly against mobile quarterbacks. I mean, Brissett's not a mobile quarterback, but still, just in general, the Dolphins struggle against the run, and this is Nick Chubb, the best running back in football right now.
Yeah.
So I can see Cleveland making this a ball game and keeping it, close until the end.
What do you think about the other side? Do you think so? The Browns, they really shut down the Bengals passing offense, but without Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to take from that. Before that, the Browns were horrible. Miscommunications in the secondary.
Oh, yeah.
And meanwhile, Tua is on fire. I mean, I don't think that it's necessarily him. Like, is Tua better than Mahomes or Allen? No, absolutely not. I don't care what numbers he puts up. I don't care if he puts up, 10% more than Josh Allen this year. He's still way worse than Josh Allen. But this passing offense as a whole is, while Hill and Waddle are healthy, this is exciting.
Yeah. And I think the Dolphins they're getting that Tua's undefeated when he's playing, right?
He's the whole game.
He's 6-0 when he's been playing the whole game. So eventually that comes to an end. Eventually somebody gets enough pressure on you on the defensive line to kind of mess up your rhythm on your offense.
Yeah.
And I think the Browns have the capability of doing that. Myles Garrett is a game changer. If they can't handle Myles Garrett, this game could actually turn the other way. The Browns have a chance to win this game.
Yeah. Miami, Taron Armstead, their left tackle, is questionable.
Yeah.
So there's a hot spot there.
It's a big deal that people underlook. I mean, offensive line is where everything starts. So I could see the Browns sneaking this one out, honestly.
All right.
Or at least within 3. They're going to cover that spread.
As long as Hill and Waddle are healthy, I think they'll just put up too much points. I'm going to say Dolphins are going to win, and they're going to blow them out.
I don't think so.
We got one head-to-header.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one thing to say about Tyreek Hill. No one has talked about this enough. He has the most yards for any player in his first 9 games ever.
I know.
Or at least since the merger. I guess there was one. Oh, there was like Raymond Berry in like 61.
Yeah.
Who we love Raymond Berry now.
We do. We got to see him play. Yeah.
But yeah, he's at 1,100 yards. That's more than any Calvin Johnson season, more than any Julio Jones, any Jerry Rice season through 9 games.
Yeah. He's on pace to get 2,000 through 6 games, which is
he did a lot.
Astonishing.
Yeah. He did a lot of it with Teddy Bridgewater and who was the other guy? Skylar Thompson.
and it still worked.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill's a different type of player. He runs different than anybody else you see.
Yeah.
There's just something weird about him. He's just so low center of gravity. His legs don't seem to be moving with his body.
It's a jerky fast, not a smooth fast.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Buffalo at Minnesota, your Super Bowl pick.
Heyo.
The 0-8 Super Bowl, since they each have 4 losses in their history. Vikings in the 70s, Bills in the 90s. And like the real ancient Norsemen who came across the cold tundras, don't attack a herd of angry buffalo.
That's just common sense.
They just know it. And they knew it back in the day, and they know it now. The Bills are coming off a loss to the Jets, but there's a hitch. The head buffalo.
The head buffalo
got a hoof. He got a hoof. And okay, I don't know how to carry this metaphor anymore.
His lead hoof is
Josh Allen has an elbow injury. Is what I'm trying to say.
And that's a significant injury.
So he's not practicing today. So this is Thursday.
I don't think he's playing.
Yeah,
I think you sit him. It's a UCL on his elbow. And based on anything I've heard this week about what that actually means, that's the muscle and the tendon you use to throw.
Ooh.
It's a problem. It's worse than I think what a shoulder problem would be. I don't think they actually found any tear. They haven't reported any tear. But this week, you just let it. You just sit him. You don't force him out there in this game. So I don't think Josh Allen's gonna play.
So I agree with you. I don't think he's gonna play either. Bills are cautious with injuries in the first place, which I think is smart. They're playing for a Super Bowl, not a Week 10 victory over the Vikings.
Exactly.
So Case Keenum is a backup.
Yep.
We have seen the line come down. So the Bills were favored by 9.5 to start the week, and as the Josh Allen news trickled in, it's gone down to 3.5. The Vikings are like, wait, we're
still dogs. They got a backup quarterback.
This is in Buffalo, so maybe that's part of it. But who do you have? What are you thinking?
I got the Vikings.
Okay.
I think the Vikings keep rolling. They've been winning close games. And I just not a Case Keenum believer. The argument I've heard is, Case Keenum's got the rapport with Stephon Diggs. Well, that was 4 years ago. Yeah. I mean, with the Vikings back in the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. That rapport is gone. I don't think it's still there.
That's pretty interesting connection, though.
It's going to be an ugly, weather game, which I think plays into the favor of the Vikings. Yeah. I like Dalvin Cook. They can run the ball better. I think Kirk Cousins needs to prove that he can win a good game like this. He'll still get the flack, even if they win. They're still going to be like, well, they didn't play against Josh Allen and the Bills. Yep. They still haven't beat anybody good, which is fine for Kirk Cousins. Yeah. He goes to 8-1. He's feeling great.
Yeah.
But I just trust this Vikings team. I think that they're legit, and they're just the most underrated 7-1 team in the history of football right now. This is unbelievable.
You are right that they're not going to get any credit for beating the Case Keenum Bills.
They won't.
They beat the Skylar Thompson Dolphins as well.
Yeah.
And they beat the Bears before they let Justin Fields run. And then even their week 1 victory against the Packers now is of course you beat the Packers. The Packers, the Vikings are just not getting it. Gosh, you got the Vikings winning? Oh, I don't know. I think I have to agree with you. I don't want to agree with you on every single one of these.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we picked different on the last one, right?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah. But part of me says that maybe the Bills defense just says, we'll carry this one for you.
But
I don't know. I don't really trust the Bills defense as much anymore either. I mean,
my worry is that the Bills defense is built perfectly with Josh Allen. It's pass rush.
Yeah.
And are they really going to stop the run? This isn't going to be a game where they're 14 points ahead in the first quarter.
Yeah. Von Miller's a great pass rusher.
Yeah.
He's not a good run stopper.
Yeah. And he's not even playing the whole game anyway.
Yeah.
And Greg Rousseau, the other pass rusher, is out or trending out.
I can see the Vikings, moving the ball down the field, getting this thing done. I mean, I'm not a. When you lose your star player, it's really hard to make up for. Yeah. It's like having, LeBron James go down with a sprained ankle. It's like, how good do you think your team's going to be now? It's just not going to happen. I mean,
and I'm going to go Vikings as well to cover that. I think the Bills really rely on Josh Allen, and this will be a Dalvin Cook game.
Yeah. Let's go Dalvin.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Indianapolis going into Vegas, and yet they are the ones who are absolutely on a wild party. The Colts have fired head coach Frank Reich, and they have hired their former center from the Peyton Manning days, Jeff Saturday, with absolutely no coaching experience at the college or NFL levels as their head coach in Week 10.
Baffling.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, everybody's been shaking their heads all week about this. Yeah. You just hired a guy that was coaching high school football.
And doing ESPN reports.
That's it. I mean, you don't hire that guy as your NFL coach.
This is so rich, guy. This is so rich billionaire. I hired the guy I like to talk to at a party one time. I saw Frank Reich go for it on 4th down. I'm calling Jeff.
Yep.
You know what? just drunk on. You know he was drunk when he made this decision.
Oh, of course.
Jim Irsay was absolutely drunk. I'm not asking you. I'm reporting that. Officially, he was drunk when he made this decision. Don't at me. That's how it happened.
Yeah, I'm positive of it too. If you just got to look at Jim Irsay and see that red face, and you know he's been drunk during every football game he's watched. So,
what's crazy is this is his father, Robert Irsay, who owned the Baltimore Colts, moved them to Indianapolis.
Yep.
He was an absolute micromanaging. He would go down to the sidelines. He would fire people. He'd forget that he fired people. He was completely chaotic. It's why John Elway was refusing to go to the Colts in 83. And this is
exactly
is he
the same
having
thing.
His daddy like
it is. It's the same sort of Alzheimer's thing coming in. I don't know.
He hasn't been like that. Jim Irsay he was the opposite of his father for so long. That was his guiding principle.
Oh yeah, in the Peyton Manning days, he was definitely way more solid than this. But
you know who probably kept him off the rails was Jeff Saturday. He must be. Must be thinking back to when Jeff Saturday and Peyton Manning kept him controlled.
Jeff Saturday's his sponsor, I guess.
Oh, it's unbelievable. We have a man calling plays who has never called plays before in an NFL or any level.
Because they fired their offensive coordinator the week before that.
Yeah, and they're on a required benching of Matt Ryan.
It's mandatory, apparently. Yeah.
Okay. Are they tanking? Do you think the Colts are tanking?
I think they're trying to.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're either stupid or tanking.
I think Jim Irsay is trying to tank. I don't think the team's trying to tank. I think Saturday is going to come and try to do the best he can. He's very honest. Everybody seems to love him. Like anything I've heard about him this past week, it's like, And I always loved Jeff Saturday just as a player playing behind, snapping the ball to Peyton Manning all the time. I believe in him in that sense. But he has nothing around him. Irsay's completely just taking all of his tools and being like, nope, you don't get that. You don't get that. You don't get that. Yeah. Figure it out, high school coach.
This is bizarre. I will say this. They're playing the Raiders. Who are on their own trajectory here, who are coached by Josh McDaniels, who also had this bizarre thing with the Colts back in 2018 when he stepped to the job and then didn't take it
or like at the last second.
Out, after hiring some of the staff and stuff like that. I think the Raiders probably are feeling lucky. So they are favored by 5.5, which is kind of a crazy low line for this, don't you think?
Right. That's the amount of faith in Josh McDaniels. This is a do or die game for Josh McDaniels. He's the guy that's getting buried under this storyline here. Mm-hmm. He loses to the Colts here. He's gone. God, he's the next coach off the book. There's no way you lose to Jeff Saturday this Sunday and
I've got a theory.
You have to fire him. Like, that's unbelievable.
I've got a theory based on that.
Yeah.
Jim Irsay knew that just beating McDaniels in week 10 wouldn't get him fired. He's pissed at McDaniels for turning him down. So he fired Frank Reich, hired Jeff Saturday, knowing that now, if the Colts beat the Raiders, they will get Josh McDaniels fired. It's all a revenge play.
Total spite. It's all a super grudge here.
Listen, I'm taking the Colts in this game.
Ooh.
I am taking the Colts in this game.
Man.
And I'll tell you why. Because it's not Jeff Saturday coaching game. The remnants of Frank Reich are entirely still within the team.
Still the same staff.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't have time to change everything. There's still stuff installed back from May. So it's not just, how wild is this? This is still an NFL team with NFL players. And whenever the media is laughing at a team, those players...
They come out to play.
Yeah. I've seen it so many times. And if they were playing a good team, I might be more hesitant to actually pull this pick. But because it's the Raiders, and they are just... I don't even know what to call the Raiders as far as their choke jobs lately.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking the Colts.
You know what?
I'm taking the Colts.
I could see it. I am taking the Raiders, but as on my Colts theory here, when you're a player and you see your coach get fired midseason, you are now playing for a paycheck. I'm not guaranteed my job here. I need to go start doing things for myself and make sure I get paid so I can feed my family next year. That's where the stakes get.
Yeah. Still a good defense there in Indy.
But I still, I would love to see the Colts win. But I'm still taking the Raiders here. I don't think Jeff Saturday gets this thing all together, and I think there's so much to prove for the Raiders. It's just a Devontae Adams game. There's no Waller, no Renfro.
Yeah,
so it's just
both on IR.
Jacobs, Adams and Mac Hollins, but they have to prove it. Derek Carr is starting to get on the hot seat himself. So Vegas is at home.
Yep.
So I think Vegas can win this game by a touchdown.
Okay.
And they have to.
Yes.
It's mandatory.
This is key.
Like they have to win this game.
Who would have thought this game would have been interesting at all? But yet, because of the off-field stuff, it has become must-see TV.
Before this season, I would have been like, hey, this is an interesting game in the middle of the season. The way the season's played out, I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch it. And now I'm like, I have to watch it. Like,
I have to.
It's the funniest game of the year. I mean, this is ridiculous.
All right. So I have the 2 primetime games. So wait, Dallas, Green Bay. Do you want to do Tennessee Broncos too, right? So let's go Dallas at Green Bay, Fox's game of the week. Have you seen the commercials for this? Okay, so Fox's game of the week. It shows like Rodgers, Dak, and it goes a rivalry renewed. What the heck are they talking about?
They've been watching the year?
Yeah. So like, okay, Cowboys, Packers, Ice Bowl. We reviewed it with Dad earlier on Father's Day. They had the big 90s stuff, the Favre versus Aikman. Yeah, but they even had 2014, 2016 matchups. Why now? Why in the world? What about this year has renewed anything?
Nothing.
With the Packers and Cowboys.
Yeah, not at all.
Fox, you're on blast.
No kidding. Jeez. I didn't think this was a renewing the rivalry game. I just thought this was an old like 90s or Ice Bowl kind of game. You know, that kind of thing. You know,
Cowboys are favored by 5. It's in Lambeau. Mike McCarthy going back to Lambeau.
That's a big story. Yeah.
I want to like try and say Aaron Rodgers could at any point have an elite game. I don't think his arm is dead, but I don't know that I can do it.
I mean, when I was thinking about it earlier, I'm trying to piece together a devil's advocate way of the Packers winning this game. I don't see it. With Aaron Jones being banged up, A.J. Dillon's been banged up the whole year. Dobbs is now out. Yep. Lazard's been hurt. The offensive line is hurt. The defense, there's the record, the locker room problems. Yeah. I'm thinking, here comes Dallas off of a bye week with their stout defense. Mm-hmm. All Dallas has got to do is score 14 points. I think they win.
Yeah.
Unless Aaron Rodgers just goes ham on these guys, there's no way, in my opinion, that the Packers can actually pull this off unless it's just a blizzard.
Yeah,
they just
something wild.
Pray to the gods that it's just the weather makes this game different.
Yeah. I just don't think there's anything. The Green Bay Packers defense has been so disappointing. We could have such a different story if that defense played as good as it looked on paper. I know now they've lost Rashawn Gary and a couple other players even.
Yeah.
But if they just played good, then we would be talking about where are the points for Rodgers, but the Packers are holding into it. They're to blame too. For that reason, just Cowboys. In fact, Cowboys by 5 is an easy take.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that they only gave them 5.5. The Packers are 3-6 on a 5-game losing streak, playing against a team that is, got Super Bowl aspirations.
Yeah. I'll take the Cowboys. I'll take Mike McCarthy revenge game. It's not quite Holmgren going back to Lambeau, but McCarthy did win a Super for Green Bay.
Yeah, way back in the day, but
2010.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless McCarthy pulls a full McCarthy, I think the Cowboys got this.
I think he can pull a full McCarthy, and it'll still happen.
He could. You never know.
All right, before we get to the Sunday night game, let's talk quickly Broncos Titans. So the Titans are at home, and they're favored by 3.
Yeah. And then the Titans coming off that game against the Chiefs, backup quarterback. They were in that game, sent it to overtime. So everybody's kind of just handing the Titans this game, and everybody hates Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that the Broncos are going to win.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because of the narrative.
Now, Tannehill will be back.
Tannehill's back. I like Derrick Henry, and I like the Titans, what they're doing, but they spent a lot of energy last week trying to beat the Chiefs. And Broncos have a hell of a defense.
They do.
The fact that they've won 3 games is incredible.
It's because of the defense.
Absolutely incredible. So I think they can do the same thing to Tennessee, keep the game low, and as long as Russell can throw 2 touchdowns, they win the game. All he has to do is move the ball a little bit, and they win. He scores 20 points. They win. That's all he has to do. And if there's any team in the AFC where they're not in the playoffs now, they don't look like they're going to make it back, The Broncos are that stupid team where I got to listen to all this Russell Wilson crap for the rest of the year. It just makes sense to me that I got to listen to this for another 9 weeks.
This is like this always happens to me.
This always happens. It almost seems, fate. Like,
I'm definitely taking the Titans on this. Although I definitely agree with you on the Broncos defense. The coaching discrepancy is too much. It's Mike Vrabel, one of the top 5 coaches in the NFL, and Nathaniel Hackett, who I don't know. I mean, the tone of voice out of Nathaniel Hackett. Have I said this on the podcast before? Maybe. He sounds like that coworker you have who has no idea what he's talking about. He's just a complete bullshitter.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Nathaniel Hackett to me. And it kind of explains some of the stuff that's happening to Russell Wilson.
It does.
More than these fake injuries he's been rolling out.
I know.
I just don't believe anything.
I think most of them have been fake. And Russell Wilson's such a phony. I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. But
Russell Wilson's got a PR team who thinks the American public is so stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Well, a lot of them are, but
yeah, well, that's a good point.
Not our listeners.
Yeah, not our listeners. Not a one of you. Yeah. The high knees thing on the airplane has turned into a whole meme.
Yeah.
But it's also indicative of that same thing. He's so tone deaf that he thought that it was a compliment, that he was like bragging that, I've figured out jet lag. I was doing high knees. Everyone else was sleeping. And the reason he is because he's surrounded by people who are like, oh, yeah? Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. So you figured out jet lag. Wow. That's awesome.
Got a bunch of yes men.
Pass me some more of that concussion water. Like,
exactly right.
A lot of yes men. All right. Yeah. I'm taking Tennessee on it, but
it's hard to trust Hackett now that you brought it up. But I'm still going Broncos just for the destiny of it all. We're gonna have to keep listening to the Broncos and their playoff push the rest of the year. It's annoying.
Yeah. Titans clouds. Let's fly. I don't know what do Titans do. They're up on the. They're not gods, right?
They're like Greek warriors, aren't they? Is that what they are?
Titans warriors. Let's fight.
Yeah,
something like that.
Grab our swords and our spears and let's go kill some horses.
This podcast is absolutely off the rails, and we'd love it no other way,
as it should be.
Let's close it out with the Sunday Night Football. Oh God, I got Kathleen's song in my head. Sunday Night Football.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sunday Night Football. I was like, that is not the song.
It's just the worst.
It's the Chargers versus the 49ers. Stan Humphries, Junior Seau, Marion Butts heading in to play Steve Young, Ricky Waters, Jerry Rice in the 1994 Super Bowl. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me...
A rivalry reborn.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Oh, no. The 49ers were 18.5-point favorites in that Super Bowl.
Oh, they should have been.
Yeah.
Chargers never should have been in that Super Bowl.
That was crazy. But today, it's Herbert and it's Jimmy G, and the 49ers are favored by 7.
Yeah,
highest line we've talked about.
It is, and I'm surprised that they get such a high line. The Chargers have just had the weirdest season from the actual start of the NFL season during free agency. Mm-hmm. This team was hyped. They're the only team that can compete with the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yep.
And now they're 5-3, and nobody believes in them. They're the worst team. They're the Chargers. They're not going to make it. But before the season, it was Herbert's the next MVP. He's the next MVP candidate. And how quickly it has just diminished.
We are all collectively all talk and no walk with the Chargers.
Yeah.
Season actually starts. We're off.
Yeah. The hype just boom, gone immediately. They're like, oh, Herbert got hurt against the Chiefs. It's game over. But I like the Chargers in this game.
Okay.
I like the Chargers because I do not believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. I've never seen a team get so hyped off of a trade in my entire life with this McCaffrey coming in, and all of a sudden the Niners are Super Bowl champions. They're going to the Super Bowl. Everybody keeps talking about it. I'm like, this team's 4-4.
Yeah, they have the least amount of wins in this game.
They are 4-4. Jimmy Garoppolo stepped out of the end zone like Dan Orlovsky, and we've completely forgotten about it. Yeah. I can see the offense hitting a rut. I know they're coming off a bye, but I think this is just going to become Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to be so focused on one player. He's only got one option. Mm-hmm. And I think that he'll make mistakes. Where I think the Chargers got a good enough defense. I mean, Khalil Mack's a game changer. He can rip your heart out, just in one play. And Jimmy Garoppolo is the perfect person to go attack.
I wish Joey Bosa was playing so that Khalil Mack and both. That's one of the reasons the line is high. All the Chargers are hurt.
Yeah,
Keenan Allen's hurt. Mike Williams is hurt. Joey Bosa's hurt. J.C. Jackson's out for the year. Rashawn Slater's out for the year.
I still like Herbert. Austin Eckler's got 10 touchdowns in 5 games. Yeah. He's killing it. Joshua Palmer looks like he's a stud. He looks like the second Mike Williams.
He does look good.
Yeah. I like the Chargers. I think they can pull it off. This is the classic Chargers underdog win where you're just like, oh, we don't really think they're going to win. Then they win. And then the next week, we're going to be talking about the Chargers being a Super Bowl contender, right? Because they beat the Niners.
And then they'll blow it.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll lose to the Texans or something like they did last year. Going back to the Jimmy Garoppolo thing, I'm really struggling with this one. I am one of those people who's like, McCaffrey's been traded there. The possibility of the unknown. McCaffrey and Debo in the same offense.
Yeah.
And the potential to you have literally 2 guys who are elite running backs and elite receivers at the same time. You could go tempo. You could trap a defense into a personnel group.
Oh, yeah.
And just move those guys around along with Kittle. The possibilities are endless. San Francisco, in the middle of the season, is getting some off-season hype.
Oh, yeah.
because of this trade. And I'm part of it.
Yeah. To me, having all of the options is a problem for Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a very simplified quarterback. Yeah. You just do this play action, you hit Kittle here. Do this, and you hit Ayuk here.
That's the problem with Jimmy G, and the same with Jared Goff.
Can they feed Samuel and McCaffrey enough? Is Samuel's going to look like himself coming off the injury? I mean, there's question marks still there. I mean, it's a Sunday night game. Is it at San Francisco?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's actually better than it being at LA for LA.
If it's in LA, it's also San Francisco fans.
Yeah, right.
Because Justin Herbert will never play a home game until you franchise tag yourself a couple times and get the hell out of there, Herbert. I don't know. I'm going to go 49ers. I just feel in my bones that McCaffrey Debo thing. I kind of even want to see it.
I want to see it too, but I can see this having a slower meshing point than people are anticipating.
Yeah.
And the Niners only really got to win 9 games like they did last year. They went 9-8 and made the playoffs and got all the way to the NFC championship game. Yeah. So I don't think they have to show all their cards yet. And it's a non-division game that I think the Chargers need more than the Niners need.
Yeah.
Despite the records being 5-3 Chargers, 4-4 Niners.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can see Herbert going ham on these guys.
Well, I would love to see that because I hate the 49ers, but I am going to pick the 49ers for the offensive tantalizations and for the defense getting a little healthier on the bye.
Yeah. It's tough to pick the Chargers this week, but I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to just I got faith in it. I don't know why.
So we got competing priorities so you picked Cleveland, I picked Miami. So that was one of our competing priorities. I picked the Colts, you picked the Raiders. Miles, why?
Oh, man, yeah.
Then we both hit Green Bay. Yeah, so there's 3 games here. Oh, no, Tennessee, Denver. We got that. So we have 4 games where we picked against each other. Good. That makes for good. I hate when we agree every time.
Oh, yeah. No, that's boring. Yeah, no. You got to pick some upsets in there and whatnot. I mean, if I got to pick a real upset this week, I think the Texans can beat the Giants this week. So, if you want to put some money down on that one, go for it.
Go for it.
I think that the Giants are a joke. They're just as bad as the Texans. So just get ready for that second half of the season failure from New York.
The Giants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Here it comes.
It's either this week or they're going to lose to Detroit next week. But they're losing to somebody that they should beat.
I'll tell you this. I won't say no. I won't say for sure the Texans win.
There's nothing to hope for there.
Yeah. Detroit plays the Bears. That's an interesting one, too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think that's going to tell us a lot about Justin Fields and the Lions defense.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the last week, both of them were trending up, and one of them's going to get the he's on fire warming up. One of them's going to get a warming up here.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
Gets 2 in a row.
I'll say I'm taking Fields on that.
I think he's good. Yeah. The Lions are so hard to predict. I mean, you never, every time you say, oh, yeah, they're done, they're stupid, they lose, they go out and win a game. So, I mean,
that's Detroit Lions football.
That's how they do it. I don't know. So, I mean, I'm not done with Dan Campbell yet. So, I don't know. That's a good game. I'm going to be watching it.
All right. Well, week 10, you don't even need to watch now. You just found out what's happening, folks.
I guess so. We disagreed on so many things.
Yeah. Okay, I guess you'll have to watch. All right.
Got to watch. It's middle of the season. We're starting the second half.
Yep.
Things can flip. What happened in the first half could happen completely differently in the second half. So get ready for it. That's the beauty of football.
That's the beauty of football. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you after week 10.
Yeah.